So in this series, I'm gonna show you how to build this scene that I have here now, and it's gonna be a little more fleshed out. I still haven't finished it, but I am finishing it soon. And we're gonna build it from Blender, and we're gonna code all of it too, all from scratch. So I'll also put it up if you just wanna grab this project on my GitHub, and there'll be a link to that in the video. So stay tuned, it'll be fun to watch. So we're going to be building all of that from scratch. We're going to start in Blender by making the plant and everything. I am the average Godot enjoyer, and I'll be making more of these videos to come. This is the first one, so yeah, please go ahead and open up Blender and code along if you want, or check out my project on GitHub. On over to the screen, we'll just hit New General A to delete everything. Let's add, and then we'll add an image as planes, and we'll grab my pot image. I'll leave a link to that. And if you don't have images as planes, go to File, well, actually go to Edit, Preferences, and then type Images in here, and then all you have to do is just enable that add-on and then hit refresh, and you should be good to go. So then once you've added in your image as planes, we'll go to top view and switch to material view, and we can see we have oh, let me turn on screencast keys. You don't need that, that's just so you can see these down here. So now we have our plant pot, and I'm going to go to our side view here. I'm going to have the pot picture selected, hit 90 on the X, and that'll flip it to us. And then I will G and then Z to bring it up. And then I'm going to add in a cylinder. And we're going to scale that till it just kind of barely matches the bottom. Maybe just a little more. Bring it up just a little, and then I'm gonna go to edit mode. I'm gonna just grab this top here, and I'll go back to side view. I'm gonna scale that out until it's somewhat close, doesn't have to be perfect, and then we will press E and then bring it up a little more. I'm going to press S to scale that out just a little more, and I'll press E again, bring that up there, and when I think I'm actually going to bring that, that should be fine. We have it in face mode, and then I'm going to hit, I'm going to click Alt and click on the side here, and that should select this whole loop selection there. We're then going to press E and then S, and that should scale it in all directions there. So now we've got somewhat of a rough outline. If we then grab this here and press E and then S, we'll scale it. Oh, scaling it the wrong way. E, S. Actually, let me Control Z, and then we'll just scale that. I don't need to extrude it twice. So E, S, bring it in there, and then let's say E, and then we'll just bring it straight down on the Z. So it's poking out there, but that's okay because we can just press S to scale it in. And then I don't think we need it to be that deep, so we'll bring it up just a little bit. So that's kind of a rough flower pot there. Let me hide that picture, and then we'll go to Object, and we'll hit Shade Smooth. So that's not bad. For starters, I think our proportions are a little off, so I'm going to say S, Z. I think that's more about the size I want, and then S, Shift Z, and that'll bring it out on everything but the Z axis. So then if I switch to solid, I think that looks pretty good. It's a solid base for our plant boss. Alright, so now that we have our pot, we're going to go ahead and make the head of the plant. So we want it to look something like this. So it's basically just two spheres placed over each other and then cut in half. So we're going to do something similar to that. We're going to go to Add Mesh UV Sphere. Let's say GZ, bring it up, press the / on the numpad to just display the sphere. We'll then go to Wireframe, and we're going to go to Edit Mode, and then we'll select the vertices. We're in Wireframe, and we want to grab all the vertices on the bottom and delete. And I only got the front ones, sorry about that. We'll delete that again, and then I think we'll press that to make sure. This is your toggle X-ray, so you can see both the front and the back vertices, and I want to make sure you can do that. So now we have just the top here, and what we want to do is grab it and then press S on the Y, and we're going to scale that out to we feel it's appropriate, probably about right there, and then S on the X. Scale that out a little bit. I think that might be maybe the size we want. Maybe a little wider there. I think just a little wider on the Y. That looks good to me. Good enough. Alright, so what we're going to do now is grab this bottom, hit Alt, grab that, press F to put a face on there. We're going to go to object mode. We're going to hit Shift D, R, 180, bring it down here, and then R. That one's probably going to be about here. And what do you think? This one about there, somewhere in there. That's good enough for me. The next thing we're going to do is grab both of them, hit Control J, that joins them together. We're then going to go to Sculpt mode with that selected, and we are going to go to Solid so we can actually see it. And then we're going to hit Remesh 0.01, and what this is going to do is basically take it and make it give it a lot more geometry that we can work with. So if you have a crappy or shitty computer, you might want to put this at like 0.1 and see how it does, but I'm going to go 0.01. So then we'll hit Remesh. This might take a second. And so now you can see we have more geometry to work with. And so what I'm going to do is grab the smooth and just smooth everything up because I don't want those lines in it. And make sure to turn on geometry so you don't have to do as much work. I'll turn it on the X, probably not the Y, and I'm going to up the radius on this and just smooth everything I can. I think that's a little too big, but smooth everything out. Alright, so everything's nice and smooth. The next thing I'm going to do is just start shaping this thing up. I'm going to grab the inflate. I'm probably going to take the radius down to about 66, somewhere in there. And I'm just going to inflate around the lips. In the middle here, you probably want it to come in a little bit, so I found that taking the snake hook here, and that's a little exaggerated, but you can see what's happening. You know, it seems to work pretty well. So I think that's pretty good. This is going to be our high poly mesh, and we'll probably make another one that's low poly. So for me, I think that looks all right. Maybe I'll add a little more blob. So yeah, that's our head. Let's go ahead and go back there. We're going to shrink that down. GZ, S, GZ. You know, you could obviously make that a little different for whatever you're trying to do. Alright, so next we're going to do the teeth, and we're just going to add, we'll add a cube. We're going to shrink it down, GZ. And let's press / in the numpad to get it to be just a cube. We'll then hit edit mode, and I'm going to go into face selection. I'm going to press E and then Z, bring that up. I'm going to scale it, and then I'm just going to maybe crook it off in one direction and then just rotate it, and then press E again to bring it up, and then scale that, and then, you know, maybe rotate it depending how gnarly you want to make the teeth, and then hit E again, and then scale that and give it a nice point, and we'll probably have to bring that up a little more, and then that looks good. I kind of like that. Maybe scale this just a little. Actually, let me grab a loop cut, and we'll put a loop cut there. We're going to bring that out, and then we'll grab this bottom face here, and we'll scale that in so it's kind of more tooth shaped. And then if you wanted to, you could do this and scale that a little, and then hit here and scale that a little, so it's kind of a more complex shape. Then I'll go back to object mode, and yeah, maybe a little fucked up there at the top of the UVs, but no one's really going to see it. It's going to be like one solid color and so small. So let's hit / in the numpad to get it to go back. We'll then go here and we'll scale it down so it looks like it'll actually fit in our mouth here. And I'm going to go with wireframe. You can see how dense our geometry is there. Let me go back to solid. So I think we need to bring that up. And then what I'm going to do is grab all of these. And we're going to do Control J to join them all. And then I'm going to add a mirror modifier. And yeah, we're going to mirror it over this object. And it may not be perfect, but that's okay for me. So then we're gonna hit Shift D, R180 on the X. Okay, and then R180 on the Z. So then we can go to our side view here and rotate this. Oh, I don't think we need to rotate it, just go G, Z and bring it up. And then, okay, we might need to rotate it a little bit to fit into our top teeth, and maybe move it over just a little. But yeah, so there we go. There's our teeth. We're gonna hit this one, and then hit the top one, and then Control J. That'll make it easier later on. And then I'm gonna go to Object, Shade Smooth, might as well. So now we'll go ahead and make the vines. Alright, so next thing we want to do is add some leaves. So we will go ahead and I'm just going to hide this and hide that, and then we're going to say add image, images planes. I already have a picture of a leaf. I'll include a link to it. And then we'll go to material view. We'll take the top view. We're going to add a plane, and then we're going to go to I guess wireframe. We'll shrink it down to about roughly this size. Go back to material view. We'll then hit edit mode, and then we want to grab our knife tool. And what I'm going to do is just roughly cut out. I'm going to do a stem too, but I'm going to cut out what the leaf looks like. And then we'll press enter. And then we'll get our selection tool, go to faces, we'll select that face, delete, and then faces. So now if we go ahead and delete our picture because we don't need it anymore, we've got our leaf. And then we'll press Alt-H to unhide everything. And then we can / on the numpad just to go back to our leaf with it selected. We'll hit edit mode. And then I'm going to go wireframe, and let's see, can I put any loop cuts in this, or can I just go to object mode and I go to subdivide? What does that do? Yeah, let's go ahead and do 2. And then we'll hit apply. And then material preview. And then we'll add a displacement modifier. We'll add a new texture. We'll go to the textures. We'll make sure it's a clouds texture. We'll then go back to our modifier and just turn down the strength a little bit. And then we have somewhat leafy leaf. Let's go to object and shade smooth. So that doesn't look too bad, maybe just a little less. Right there. And then, yeah, so we'll bring that back. We're gonna R on 90, enter GZ, we'll go ahead and bring that up. And I'm kind of like envisioning like a main of these type of leaves, kind of like this, and then maybe some of them are folding over. We'll do a little more with that once we have the vines. Alright, so for the vines we're going to use curves, so we're going to go curve and make sure it's a Bezier curve. I think those are the easiest to use. We'll go on the X and we're just going to go ahead and rotate it on the Y 90. We'll have it like that, and then go into edit mode, and we'll grab this here and bring it up there, and then we'll grab this one here and bring it right there, and maybe give it just a little more of a turn. Give that one a little more of a turn, grab both of them, and then hit, I think it's, just right click and then subdivide, and we'll get another handle in here, and we can kind of make that loop just a little more and make that a little bit straighter. I kind of want maybe right there. So now what we can do is we have our curve. We'll go to our geometry down here, and we'll go to extrude, and let's put that at like 0.16, and you can see that that puts it out in this like flat pattern there. And then if we go down to, where is it? Oh, bevel right here. We go to our depth and we start bringing that out. It makes it flare out there. So we put this at, let's go 0.02 and 0.02, and that'll give us kind of a nice viney type thing. And odds are you don't want this to be, you know, the same all the way up. So what you do is you select an individual point and you hit Alt-S. Oh, Alt-S, sorry. You want to hit Alt-S, and then you can scale these individually. So something like that might work a little better. And so I'm going to do a couple more of those. What I'm going to do is just add curve, Bezier curve, go here, R90 on the Y, all right, bring it up, go over here, R90 on the Z, and then I'm going to hide, grab this, go to edit mode. What do you mean? Can't go to edit mode. Alright, bring this over here. That one's about where it needs to be. We're just going to subdivide it. And then you can also press E to extrude these and just bring them out. And then let's go ahead and add to our extrude 0.04. And then the bevel will be 0.04. So we have just a circular thing right there. And how long should his arms be? Probably not that long. We'll probably get rid of that vertices and just have this one. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do is have maybe one arm. We'll just have two arms that just kind of lift up and probably fling stuff at the player. So I'm just going to move this over a little bit on the X so it's not crowding our main sprout. And then I'm going to just grab the whole thing, go back to object mode. I'm going to go Shift D, and then we're going to go S on the X, -1, bring it over the other side. So now we have two arms. If I press Alt H, we'll bring everything back. That doesn't look so bad to me. Alright, so I thought about it for a minute, and I think what I'm going to do is just copy this head and put it on these two other branches, and then they're each going to shoot different projectiles. So that means we need to grab these and go to edit mode, and I'm just going to do E and then turn that with an R, and then just kind of slant that in right there. And then we're going to go ahead and let's just, what we'll do is we'll delete this one, we'll grab this one, we'll do Shift D to duplicate, S on the X, -1. That'll reverse it in the X axis, and then we have everything back. So that looks pretty good to me. Again, if you want to, let's go to edit mode. If you want to make these larger or smaller, press Alt S and you can expand or shrink them down. So I think that's fine for what we're doing. Alright, so now we have some vines, we got some leaves, we got the pot, and we got the head. The problem is the head here has way too many vertices. If I just get the head and I go to wireframe, you can see it's just stacked to the brim with vertices, and we don't need all that. So what we're going to do is go to, let's see, sculpt mode. I'm going to switch it back to solid, and if you had a model that you really cared about, I would, take this and save it before you make any adjustments here. But I don't really care about this model, so I'm just going to go to remesh and put it at 0.1, and we're going to go ahead and say remesh. And so now you can see we have a lot less detail, but the vertices and the faces way down. So and if I unhide everything and then I go back to object, shade smooth, who's going to be able to tell the difference once we bring it into Godot? It's not going to matter. So then I'm just going to go ahead and join the teeth. Well, before I do that, let me grab the teeth and we'll make a material for them. Always name your materials. We'll call this, caps lock is on, we'll call it teeth, and then we're going to grab the head and make a new material and just call this head. And we'll change the viewport color to blue, and the teeth will be purple. Why not? The vines, we'll make a new one and we'll call it vines, and then we'll grab this and we'll call these leaves, and we might as well give them all a kooky viewport color. So let's see, the vines, they're going to get all right. So I have a way I'm going to do my texturing. It's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to go and let's find some, let's look up scary leaves. Go ahead and shut it down. Let me go ahead and I'll open up GIMP. I'm gonna bring that over, file, open, and let's go to pictures, green and purple. Let's open that up. And then I'm gonna grab the selection tool. We're gonna go, how do I freeform select? You know, we don't even need to do that. We'll just grab, I want to grab this whole leaf right here. But I just want that leaf. So we'll grab that, Control C, and then file, new, sure, whatever, Control V, and then I'm going to grab the brush, bring this down, go here. Oh yeah, make sure to attach that layer. So now we have that. So now I'm going to go to File, New, and let's just do, let's go 2048 by 2048. That's pretty big, but whatever. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to grab this. Control C, and then now we can use it as a brush. So I'll grab our brush up here, and you can see we got that there. And what I'm going to do is rotate it till it's vertical. Mostly vertical, and then I'm just going to stamp down. And you know, just fill in any spots you see, and go back over it. So that'll look pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is File, Export As, and I'm going to call this Leaves, take 1. And where are we exporting that to? Just documents, all right. And then you can obviously go to colors and, you know, mess with the colors. You can change it to like a red or a pink, anywhere in there. So now let's go back to Blender. What I'm gonna do is let's take this one, and we'll go to edit mode. Let's actually go to object. We're going to go to convert to mesh. And now that we have it as a mesh, I'm going to press / on the numpad, bring me right to it, go to edit mode. We're going to hit A, and then UV, smart UV project. Let's see how that looks. UV editing, let's go to shading, and then of course we have to go to the vines. We'll add an image texture, open it up, and we'll go to our documents and add in that, and throw that in as our color. So yeah, that's what I meant, is kind of like a scaly texture type thing. And what I'm gonna do is make some normal maps for that too. And to work on our textures a little more, if we go back into GIMP, we can mess around with it. Filters has some cool stuff. Obviously, you got all these blurs. If you go to artistic, you can maybe it's map. Sorry, yeah, you have this tile seamless, which I'm going to try out, and then you can also go. Let's go ahead and file. Export as. We'll save over our leaves. Yeah, that's fine. Export. Who gives a shit? All right. Let's go to filters again. We'll go down to I think it's generic and then normal map. So we'll go ahead and make a normal map, and then we'll file export as, and this will be leaves take one. Normies. Fucking normies. Alright, then we'll add texture, image texture, open, documents, grab normals, and then we'll go add, and then normal map, bring that on in. We'll hook that up here, and then we'll hook that up here. And then odds are we'll have to adjust the strength, but let's go to rendered, and we'll just add in there's a light. This side, and then we want to take that light and set it to 100. Alright, so yeah, it's kind of like a scaly looking pattern that I got there. So let's go ahead and hit this one and edit mode A. Oh, that's right, we got to convert these to meshes. So yeah, let's go object, convert to mesh, and then object, convert to mesh. We're going to go E. You know what, we might as well go ahead and Control J to join all these, and then we'll go to edit mode, A, UV, smart UV project, okay. So now they're all going to be equal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for our creature here. We're going to grab him and UV, smart UV project, we'll do that, and then we'll just, we're going to change him to the, what is it, vines. That's pretty cool. And then these, let's find, I think I got a picture we can use. Add texture, image texture. Sometimes I like to use like brass. Let's see, what do we have? Yeah, I think that'll do it. Just a rust colored teeth. And then, oh, yeah, we're going to have to edit them too. We'll grab A, UV, smart UV project. At this point, you know, we should probably grab everything and hit Control A and then scale. Make sure everything's scaled correctly, and then we'll have to do that again. So UV, smart UV project, all right. They're way too shiny, so what we need to do is up the roughness so that they're not shiny anymore, and you know, that's not bad. So now for the leaves. Alright, so for the leaves, I was going to handle them like this. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try it. We'll go to shading, we're on the leaves, we'll go add texture, image texture. Let's open it up. I have this right here. We'll go ahead and connect it. And then we'll go to our UV map. Well, you know what I meant? I meant to do this. We'll go back to GIMP. File, open. Let's enter. Let's go ahead and open that up. And then we got to go color to alpha.
Alright, that gets rid of all the white, and then we will file, export this as a PNG. Export that, and we should be good to go. Then we go back to shading, and we'll choose our PNG. There we go, it's looking better. And then we go here. Alright, well, we'll go like that, and then we're going to go to Material Preview, UV Editing. S on the X. We're going to scale it down. And then my original idea was just to move it to one of these leaves. I mean, that's probably going to look awful. Yeah, it doesn't look great at all. Let's try the ivy. So I mean, that doesn't look bad except for the stem. So now we just got to deal with that, and I think the way I'm going to deal with that is go to edit mode. We'll select just this, and then we're actually going to select some of these really messed up vertices we've created, and you know, we're going to take these and assign them to a new material. And that base color is going to be a dark brown. Actually, let's see if we can get that stem brown right there. And then we'll just darken that a little bit. Turn off our roughness. Object mode. How does that look? We'll get rid of these. I mean, you know, it works for me. You know, just for this tutorial. And then one thing we can do is just kind of, we'll go to wireframe. I'm going to grab some of these points like that. And I'm just going to G on the Y. And then maybe we'll just rotate them a little bit. Let me make sure I just got just that branch. We're going to grab that one, do the same thing. We get rid of these pieces of shit, and then we'll take this one and let's go back to solid. So we want this to be closer, and then probably turned a little there. Or on the X, Y, yeah. 180. I don't know. Hold on. Or on the Y. 180 negative 90 G. Alright, let's just fucking move it over. Or fucking spin it. Here we go. And I don't really want them to overlap, but I think the way I kind of staggered them like that, I think they should be fine. So we go back to Material Preview. How does that look? That looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is grab all three of these and Control J, join them together, and then we're going to do like a Shift D, and then we're going to spin that and probably scale it in, and then maybe move that right here. And we'll get a good view Y. We'll bring that forward just a bit. Or bring it in just a bit more. And then we'll just go ahead and put a... I forgot that was there. We'll put a mirror modifier on it, and we're going to mirror it over this object here. So I think that looks pretty cool. And so now that we have the heads, what we're going to do is just grab all of these and let's go ahead and apply the modifier on everything, because you can't join things without the modifiers applied. So now we're going to join the head and the foliage. So we're just going to do Control J, and then we'll take this from here, Shift D, G on the X. We're going to bring one over here, and then Shift D, G on the X again, and bring one over there. So we're going to have our three-headed Hydra here, and we're going to start animating and posing it. We got to add a skeleton and bones. And yeah, let's go ahead and add a texture for this pot. We'll come down here. Do we already have one? No, I don't believe so. So all we're going to do is just turn it to orange, and then bring the color down a bit, and then turn the roughness up so it's not so shiny. And how does that look rendered? Let me add some more light. G on the Y, Shift D, we'll put one here, we'll put one here, and we'll put one there. And go back to layout so I can actually see it. That's looking pretty good, pretty decent for me. So yeah, we'll go ahead and add an armature and get it ready to animate. Alright, so my plan for an armature is to have 3 armatures, one for this one for this head, and then one for that head. And that way I'll have 3 separate animation players, and we'll just probably control each one separately, maybe even through their own script. I just really like them being segmented instead of all together. So as long as we don't move this original position, I don't really plan for this enemy to move at all. So it should be fine. So first thing we're going to do is let's just grab, oh that's right, we joined all these. Let's go ahead and unjoin them. So we'll hit edit, and then we'll select this one and hit L, and we'll press P, and then by selection, and then we'll hit this one, L, and then P by selection. So that's separated by selection. So now we have 1, 2, 3. We're going to grab this one, and then grab this head, and then Control J, and then grab this one, and then grab that head, and then Control J, and then grab this one, and grab that head, and Control J. So we've got all of those joined together now. So now we can go ahead and add the armature. But before we do that, let's just grab everything, Control A, and then we'll put scale. We'll go ahead and apply the scale to everything. So now we'll go to add. I'm going to go to armature, and we'll go to viewport display down here. The little running man, and then viewport display, and click in front. So this is going to be our base bone for this head right here. So what I'm going to do is go to edit mode on the bone, and then bring this down. Probably have that right there, and then I'll just E, bring up, E, bring it up again, and then let's take a look at the side. So let's take this and put it here, and then we'll do E, and then have another one here. And yeah, I guess we'll do one more up to the head, and then we need one for the top and one for the bottom here. And then the mane, I think I'm just going to attach to, well, you know what, we should probably make a separate bone here, and we're just going to attach all the foliage to that bone so we can kind of like rear it back. I want to see how that looks. So that's good. I'm going to go back to object mode. We'll press Control A, apply the scale just in case, and then we're going to click on our mesh and then click on our armature and then press Control-P to parent with automatic weights, and we'll see how that works. We're gonna hide this, we'll leave the pot, we'll hide that, and then we'll switch back to material. Actually, let's go to solid view, and we're going to select our armature and go to pose mode, and then if we pull this up, so we get some movement. However, a lot of stuff is off. I think the base, will probably be fine. This stuff down here is usually fine when you have just like very simple geometry. This stuff up here is going to be all messed up. So what I'm going to do is kind of put this to an extreme position, like back here. We're going to open the mouth up all the way, and then I'm going to go back to object mode, click on our poor disfigured model here, and go to weight paint. Oh, we don't have any of these bones named. That will probably be something to do. Alright, so you don't exactly need the bones named, especially on a model like this where it's really simple, but it does make it easier. So we can click on a bone and kind of see which bone it is by how much influence it has on stuff. And so what we want to do is take the leaves. I'm going to go here and we're just going to select all that with L and then H to hide it. And then the teeth too. Let me see if I can get a side view and select all that, and H, 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 H. Oh, well, whatever. That's going to take forever. I'm not going to worry about all the teeth. I'm just going to hit L, 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 taking way too many L's. We're going to do all these, and then we're going to go back to our brush, make sure it's on add, and then we're going to make sure we got all these colored in so they all move with that backbone. And that's already looking better. There we go. This is always a pain in the ass and takes forever, so don't get discouraged. And then, so that's looking better. We'll go here to our, we'll go back to weight paint mode. Alt H to reveal hidden. We'll go back to our select. We'll click onto this, and then we're going to press L. And actually, that seems to be doing pretty fine. It's just a few of these teeth are not looking so good. So we'll actually just hit L and L. And they should be attached to whatever the mouth bone is, which appears to be this one here. So we're going to go ahead, go back, and just paint them on. And do we have any more problems? Looks like we got some more problems up here. Where's our top tooth bone? Right up there. Alright, so we'll go back to our selector and hit L, 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 and then we'll turn on the paint and paint them all where they're supposed to go. I didn't even realize those were there, but whatever. We'll probably never open the mouth that wide anyway. So let's go back to object mode. We'll grab this and we'll go back to pose mode, and then I'll go to material preview. We'll grab everything with A, and then I'll say Alt R to return everything to its natural rotation. So then if we look at it, we can kind of move it side to side. We can bend this one and kind of cock the head. Let's see if we move this back, and then this controls all of our leaves in kind of a cool way. And then we have, of course, the upper and lower jaw working as we intended. Maybe a little bit of pull on the leaves, but that'll be fine. So again, A, Alt R, take everything back to normal, and then we'll just go back to object mode, Alt H to unhide everything. Alright, so that's one head of the Hydra rigged. Let's go ahead and get another one. We're going to do add armature. We got the bone. I'm going to hide that and then hide that. So now we have just this. Might as well hide the pot as well. We don't need it. I'm going to take it, move it right here, and then I'm going to go to edit mode, I'm going to grab that and let's move it to in front so I can see what I'm doing. And I really don't want to add a whole ton of segments here, but I do need just about enough for it to move around a little. And I'm going to try and keep these segments uniform so they kind of look like a snake, where a snake moves very uniformly. It's not like all bunched up and unscaled. So we'll keep going. We'll zippity doo dah, zippity day. We'll do that, and then we'll put one up here. We'll go here and take another one out. Yeah, sure, why not? One here, and oh no, just that, and then one there. And I think that'll do it. Let's move these over just a little bit. Go to top view, and we'll just bring that where we want it. We'll delete that one. I didn't realize that was there. Delete bones. Yeah, get rid of that. All right. And then we're going to grab this one and go here with it. And we've got this thing. Might as well make it big. We'll grab this, put it there. Just get it close. It doesn't have to be perfect. That might cause some problems, so that's going back right there. That's going back right there. What is this doing here? Get out of there. Let me just make sure we don't have any other bones. Alright. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is, since I don't want to remake this model over again, I'm going to grab everything. Well, actually, you know what? I think I need to subdivide. And then I'll bring this up just a little more. That'll make me feel a little better. Maybe a little out of scale there, but whatever. So we're gonna grab that. We'll go back to object mode, Control A on the scale, and then we're gonna go Shift D, S on the X, -1. We'll press enter, and then we will G, X, and we'll just bring it right on over. Since those are mirror images, I think it should line up pretty well, whatever, it's close enough. And so then we're gonna grab this one and grab our mesh first, then grab our armature and hit Control P with automatic weights. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here, grab the mesh first, then grab the armature, Control P with automatic weights, and then we're going to have to adjust our weight paint on these like we did the others. So let's grab this armature and go to pose mode, and I'm just gonna bring that. One thing we can do, if we grab this bone right here and we go to, I believe it's object constraints, maybe it's bone constraints, and we switch it to inverse kinematics, and our chain length should be the number of chains it takes to get back there. I think if you set it at 0, it just goes all the way back to the root bone. But now if you grab this, you can see it's got some cool properties to it. That's really, I like to use that a lot. So we're going to stretch it out. And that helps a lot for making things that look more like humans, or more like, you know, bodies that are alive. And then we're going to grab this, bring it down, grab that, bring it down, and grab that, and bring it on back, just like we did before. So then we're going to have to go out back to object mode, grab this, and then go to weight paint mode. Again, oh, we didn't name the bones. Whatever. Okay, so this bone appears to be the backbone that's supposed to hold all of our leaves. So we'll go to our selection tool, and we'll get our clicker, we'll press L and hide all that, and then we'll select just our leaves so we can color just those. And then we'll grab our brush and go to town and just paint. Bring everything back. So now we've got everything and we've got armatures. Now we just have to make some animations. Alright, so the idea for the boss fight is that these two guys on the side are going to be firing projectiles, kind of like spitting them. If I go to pose mode, they're going to have their heads cocked up like this. Oh, that's right, I have to pose them separately. They're going to be like that, spitting projectiles everywhere, and then this guy is going to be the one you're aiming at and hitting and doing damage to the boss. And you know, maybe we'll have some other attacks. I think this one I'll probably do like a lean forward and a fire attack where it kind of like breathes out some poison smoke or something. So yeah, I guess we'll probably get this head first and we'll just start making some poses. So let's go to our animation and I'll select A and then Alt R, and then I'm going to actually go to object mode and I'm going to select the mesh and then that, and then I'm going to press numpad forward so that I can only see this skeleton and the other stuff there. So first I'm going to make an idle animation. I'm going to go to my action editor and then I'm going to say new, and we're going to call this right, let's call it right head idle. And you can use spaces, I think. I just don't like to use spaces. So, and we're going to go back to pose mode. Make sure you're in pose mode, select everything, and then go I to insert, and I'm going to insert location and rotation. Alright, so then what I'm going to do is just kind of bob it up and down. So I'm going to pull it to maybe 40, and we're going to go, let's just bring this up a little bit, and we'll bring that down just a little bit, that down, and then this will just back up, and then we'll say A, insert location rotation, and then if we grab this one that we made before, Shift D, and then bring it over to 80, straight to 80, and then I loop our animations at 80. We can see how that looks. So that's the all right idle animation. We go to material preview and then I'll hide that. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. It's just, you know, not going so good in the frame rate department, but that's fine idle animation for me. So next, let me do Alt H. I'll bring everything back. Let me turn on screencast keys. Oh, you can't see them. Whatever. Alright, so we'll select this again, turn that off. So now we'll copy that, and then we're going to call this right head, let's go shoot projectile. Alright, and so he's just going to turn up. Oh, wait. Let's get rid of these. Oh, press A, select everything, click this top summary to select everything up here, delete it. So then we just have our original keyframes there. And then what we're going to do is he's going to raise his head up and then cock it back and then prepare to fire. So we have this bone selected. I'm going to go to this view and I'm just going to see it going up like this. And then we will turn it R on the Z. And we will grab everything and insert a keyframe. Control Z. Sorry, I did that on accident. We'll press A to grab everything. I insert a keyframe, and then we'll say location and rotation. So if we go from here to here, and then when we get to this one here, you don't have to use 80. You know, I'm just probably gonna do that to make it kind of, I don't know, more understandable for me. And so I'll have him coming up here, and this is when he's going to be shooting the projectiles. So we'll select everything again, and we'll go insert, location, and rotation. And then so that will be leading into the shooting of the projectiles. So now we need a animation where he's actually shooting them. So we'll say right head, shoot, loop. And what we'll do is get rid of this and get rid of that, and then we'll grab this last one, and then we'll G, bring it all the way back to 0, Shift D, and we'll bring it over to 80, and then we'll go in the middle here, and I'm gonna try and do it like he's, you know, like spitting something, so like his head just backs up just a little bit. So we'll just kind of bam, like he shot something out, and then we'll raise these in like he spit, you know what I mean? And that's going to fling forward, so we'll go A, and then insert, location, rotation, and we need to grab this, and it needs to happen pretty quickly, so we're going to do Shift D, and then we'll see, let's just set it to 10, how does that look? Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So let's do one thing. I'm going to grab this and go here and insert, location, rotation, there, and then I'm going to press A to grab everything, grab this one, Shift D, we'll bring it over, and he's going to shoot maybe like 5 volleys, so we're going to do this about 5 times. So let's go G, we'll bring this back, and then so we come forward, shoot 1, come forward, shoot 1. And then, yeah, I think that's all we need. So we'll just, bam, bam. And then we can just repeat that. You know what, let's just do 1 round. Let's just do bam, 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 bam. All right. So we'll go with 10. All right, Control save, and so that just shoots. He'll just shoot out more and more, and depending on how many we want to shoot, we'll just loop the animation that amount of times. And then, you know, obviously we go. Let's go here, and we'll make a new one, and this is return right head, return from shoot. And I thought about making an animation for when they get hit, but instead I'm going to have them, like, you know, spurt some blood out. That'll be easier. And so for this one, we have to take that pose there, and then we'll delete this one, delete that one. We're going to move this out to 40, and then we're going to go, just click on 40. We'll go Alt-R and Alt-G, bring everything back to where it should be. Insert, location, rotation. So this is just returning back to normal. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that for the other side, and then I think we should be good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side now. So I'll it there to bring it back. And then I'll go back to object mode. We'll click on this armature, and then we'll go to pose mode. We'll hit A, Alt R to bring everything back to normal. We'll say new, and this is going to be left head idle. And one thing we do have to do, we didn't put the bone constraint on this bone here. So to do that, again, we go to this one, add bone constraint, and then we select inverse kinematics. And that just makes it so that when we move that bone, it moves everything else with it. So we're going to go just lift it up just a little bit, and maybe even turn it in slightly. I kind of like that on the other one, and just turn that. And maybe even bring that down just a little, bring it up just a little. Insert location and rotation. I should have gotten a default pose there at the beginning, but I didn't, so I'll just get that now. Select everything, Alt R, Alt G, and then insert location rotation, and then Shift D, and then we'll bring that over there. And yeah, so that's an idle. You know, whatever. I think that's fine. I think I'm gonna make it a little slower. I'm gonna pull it to 80 and then pull this one to 40. I think it's a little more sinister when it's slow like that. So that'll be fine. We'll go here. Now we've got to make the the left head shooting. So left head ready shot, which is probably what I should have called the other one. We'll delete this, and we'll delete that, and then we'll go to 80, and we'll select that inverse kinematic bone. We'll go up, and then we'll, I guess, turn right there, and maybe down a little bit. Oh great, that leaf looks fucking awesome. We're gonna go like that. And I guess we'll kind of leave this mouth really wide open like that. And so insert location rotation, and we'll make that 40. So that'll just be, you know, him preparing an attack. That sounds like a good amount of time for an attack. And then the next one will be, we'll get rid of this. And then remember, we bring this back to the beginning, and we do just one set of 10, and we put one here in the middle, right at 5. I'll bring it back to there, right there. All right, and then what we want to do is bring this back on the G, like it just shot something, straighten it out a little bit. And then we bring the mouth together, and we shoot that back. So we'll go A, insert, location, rotation. So boom, and then, yeah. And then we need a return to normal. So from here, we'll, oh, I should have called this one left head shooting loop. All right, and then we'll go, and then left head return to normal. All right, I'm gonna save that, and then we're going to delete that and delete that, and then we'll go right here to about, what do we need, 40. We'll say Alt R, Alt G, that brings everything back to normal. Insert, location, rotation. So that's just bringing it back down, just like we did the other one. So now we're all good on the two side ones, and we just have to get that this one in the middle. So we'll go ahead and go to pose mode, and we'll go to I guess new, and we'll call this middle head idle first, and that'll just be some, you know, rudimentary movement. So like this coming down a little, this coming up maybe. All right, A, insert, location, rotation. We'll put that at 40 like we did the other ones. We'll grab the whole thing, A, Alt R, Alt G, bring everything back to where it should be. Insert, location, rotation. Move that back to 0 because you want to start from 0, not 1. And I don't know if you want to start on 0. I just kind of said that. Animation is very confusing. I don't really understand it. I'm just showing you what I know. So let's go ahead and switch to solid. So that's I think that'll be fun. That's just an idle animation. And so we'll go back, and now we need a I need like a sweeping movement. So let's go middle head sweep. All right, so we're gonna go here, and we're gonna delete that. With this armature, we're going to let's go here and move that like this, move that like this, and move that like this. I need to get it to kind of face at about the level the player would be at. The player is going to be like here. So we're going to start on that side. We'll go A, insert, oh, sorry, A, insert, location, rotation. And I forgot to do this, but we need to bring it from the idle pose. So while everything's still selected, press Alt R, and then insert, location, rotation. So now it moves to there. And then I'm going to have it sweep all the way across, and that'll probably be, let's set that to 120. So probably about here. We'll just go to the Z, and I think we can just spin this. So we'll go here, insert, location, rotation, and then we'll go here, probably about maybe to 80. R, insert, location, rotation, and then we'll go 101, and then rotate, and then insert, location, rotation, and then we'll select everything, and then we'll grab this and say Shift D, bring that over here. And then now we have, let me hide that, and that way we can see it a little better. So it's facing into the ground. Perfect. Not what we want. So we need to Alt H, grab the whole thing. So which bone is giving us the trouble? So if we're here, let's just make sure that's facing up that way. Insert, location, rotation. And then when we are here, we'll just, we're gonna bring this up, and we'll bring that up, and then insert, location, rotation. Oh, I don't think I got the rotation for this one. Location, rotation, and then there. We select A, we go there, and then we'll grab both of these and R, spin them up, insert, location, rotation. So that's looking way better. All right, A, H, hide everything, and then we'll just play it. Yeah, that's a nice sweeping attack right there, and he's going to spray some fire breath everywhere. We'll use some particles for that. That's going to be nice. So Alt H, bring everything back. So now
So we do return to the idle there. All right, so the next one we need, I guess we should also have him shoot maybe a projectile. So yeah, we're gonna have him shoot up in the air. And you can do that instead of having to try and make him face the player at all times, which is gonna be hard. Middle head, shoot. Let's go ready, shooting. All right. And so we can delete all these because it's a new animation. Delete, and then we'll grab this. Let's press A. And then right about 40, I think, is about what we've been doing. So we'll bring that up. And then we'll bring this back as well. And then we'll also bring this back. And we'll just select A, insert, location, rotation. And let me actually open the mouth up while we're at it too. So R, A, insert, location, rotation. And then, all right, so now we need to do the looping. Middle head, shoot, loop. All right, and so we'll delete this, bring this one, G, grab it, bring it back to wherever, the first frame, and then we'll go, that's right, we did it every 5, so Shift D, bring that to 10. We go to frame 5, and then we pull back like we're firing a gun. Maybe pull this, and I kind of want to just do like that. Push these forward like he's spitting something, and then we'll fling that back like that. So A, insert, location, rotation, and then let me bring this to 10 so it'll loop, and we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, I mean, you know, a little fast, but I think that's fine. And then, so yeah, I think that's everything. We got an idle, we got a fire from each one, and I think that'll be everything we need. All right, so I think we have all the animations. I think that's everything we need. We can go ahead and export this into Godot, and we'll build that boss fight. Go ahead and save it, and I think if I select everything, and then I'll file export as a GLTF, and let's just see what happens. I'll just print that. Let me make a new Godot file. I almost forgot one thing. We're going to need an arena to be in. So let me go to layout, and then we're going to go add. Let's add a plane. That's looking fucking good. Good enough for me. And then I think we can go ahead and export that to Godot. So I'll grab everything. I'm just going to try and export as a GLTF, and I'll just do it to my desktop real quick. Plant, boss, create the folder, create and edit, and then let's go ahead and new folder, and we'll call this GLBs, and we will go ahead and open in File Manager. We'll go to our desktop, we'll grab this, and we'll say yeah, we'll just
copy to, and then put it right here. Select. All right. It's importing now. And let's go. I just want to see if it imported. Let's go all files. And if I grab it here and open it, and then I open that. So that's looking pretty good. And I'm gonna have to 1, 2, and so let's do right head idle. We'll put it on loop. We're gonna do animation left head idle. We'll put that on loop, and then we'll do middle head idle. Put it on loop, and then we're gonna leave them all playing. And so that's not bad. Left head ready shoot, and then left head shooting loop, and then we'll just loop that and play it. So yeah, he'll be shooting projectiles up in the air. Everything looks pretty good to me.
Thanks for watching. This type of content takes a while to produce, but it is fun to do, and I learned a lot. So if you like the channel, feel free to check out more of the videos. Have a good one.